Hey guys, JHoyt here. I'm gonna make this super quick. If you guys haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications on so you never missed an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But we are now on episode 20, and we're in for a big year here on our franchise mode with the Detroit Red Wings. What's wrong, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 20 of the franchise mode with the Detroit Red Wings. We had probably our last two off seasons being the biggest ones yet, right? Our team right now is probably the best it's ever been, with the exception of like one player not being like 83 plus. So like, if we don't win this year and do really well, I got no idea what to do. Like, realistically, I have no idea, right? But this year, we're going for it, right? We got lots of players on our team that have individual skill, that are all good overalls, that realistically, we should be doing really good this year, right? The amount of players that are good, better than ever, right? But let's introduce you guys to the opening roster of this year's team. So starting on our first line, we got Brady Tkachuk, along with Dylan Larkin and Oliver Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom actually performed pretty good during this preseason, so we're giving him a chance. Same thing with Tkachuk. And then down there on that second line, what could be probably our first line as well, we have Zadina, Wright, and Raymond. So we're going to try out those guys on that second line and hope those guys bring us, to the glory land at the end of the year. But of course, this could all change, a month down the road. But third line, we got Bertuzzi, Norris, and Barron. I was gonna send Barron down to the AHL actually, because he didn't put up any points, right? He was like -7 and just didn't really do too much during this preseason. So I was, debating back and forth, but I want to send him down. But of course, I didn't, since he's still here, and since given our good roster and how good this team can be, I kept him up here, right? He put up, what, almost 50 points last year. So I know he's got it in him, but can he do it for us this year? And then on our fourth line. On that fourth line, we got Alex Tuch, Elias Lindholm, and Gabe Vilardi. I mean, like I said, this is the best team we've ever had. We've had 83s on our fourth line, so got 85 down there as well. So if we don't win this year, like I said, I got no idea what to do. But over to the back end. We're going to separate Hanifin and Ekblad this year just to see what we can do with them separately. Hanifin and Mann on that first line. Wallander and Ekblad on the second. And then down on that third line, we got Lindholm and Myers. So, like I said, we got a really good team all around. We tried to upgrade that third line right defensive spot to someone that was like an 83 plus, but fortunately, a lot of the players don't really fit our scheme. So it's kind of hard to pick somebody, and I'm not just going to pick somebody up just to put someone there. So we're going to try to go with the scheme that works. But looking in back in the starters net this year, Dostal as our backup, and then we'll have Bednar in the AHL, right? Even though all of them kind of performed very similarly, and we could have any combination of those two up here. I want to give Lukkinen, this is basically his last chance, because after this year, we lose him, right? He's a pending UFA this year, and we have him for a great deal right now. We signed him to a 2 years at $1.5 million. So this is the last year with him. If he does good, hopefully we can offer him an extension, but if not, we got Dostal there, we got Bednar there, and we got lots of space to do anything with. So unfortunately, we don't have much else. But other than that, I mean, one guy you probably don't see is Joe Veleno. He's going to be starting down here in the AHL, wherever he may be. Actually, he might be scratched because I may not have even put him in the lineup, potentially looking for a trade. So this is going to be our team to start. You know, we're going to throw him on the trade block along with a couple other guys that may not have made the roster this year and see what we can get for him. But this is going to be the roster. Can this be the team that pushes us to the playoffs on a consistent basis? I'm really hoping so, because other than that, I have no idea what else to do. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the opening night and get the first half of the season done. But here we go. Let's get the first month of play under our belt, and hopefully this team can do something bigger than what this start is, because come on, boys. The Rangers and the Ottawa Senators got to do better than that. But there we go. Answering back with a couple of wins. Right, we put Veleno onto the trade block along with a couple other guys that didn't make the roster, and we're going to see if we can get anything for them, because I'd like to upgrade the team, obviously, but again, where do you even upgrade this team? It's just very, very difficult. But yeah, 3-6 to start this one off. That is not good. So I'll have to go see if we need to make some changes and see where we can go here in the next month. Hopefully some improvement. So after swapping around a bunch of lines, I think we swapped every single line, right? We moved Lindholm up to the third line, moved Norris down, we moved Tkachuk down to the third line from the first line, we bumped Bertuzzi up to the second line, I think Zadina stayed on the second. Who else did we do? We moved Raymond up to the first, Wallstrom down to the second, Barron stayed where he was, so everyone was moving around. Defense stays the same, goalie stays the same. But let's go see what we can do in month number 2 here. Let's go up to, I guess, the 7th. And hopefully our team performs a little bit better, because, yeah, that was brutal to watch. So we need wins, right? We need wins early, and we need something that's not what, you know, we're getting right now. So I know you can't see it, but it's Veleno 4th and a 5th for a 2nd, Traverse, and a Monte. I'm going to go see if this trade makes sense and if it would be a good one. And if not, we'll just continue on with the rest of the month. Let's keep going, though. Trade didn't make sense. Some prospects with, like, no trade value that, you know, might be doing a little bit decent this year, but still not going to be worth it. I feel like we could get more for Veleno just by himself. We get, like, probably, like, a 2nd, maybe a 3rd, and maybe 2 seconds even. But, all right, few game winning streak here. I'll definitely take that. Still at the bottom of the standings, though. We're 25 games through the start of the year here. What are we saying? Can we turn this around the way we're going, or do we need to make a change, right? That's always what we're thinking. Olette for a 3rd and a 5th. Let's go see if it's worth it. So we ended up doing the trade, right? A random unsigned prospect for a 3rd round pick and a 5th, right? It made sense, right? Didn't really have any plans of keeping that prospect or signing him. So we are, 29 games through this season. Where do we sit in the standings? So we sit 6th in the division, right? But again, our division loves to be, you know, within a couple of games, within a couple of points of each other. So let's get up to the, this Christmas break and kind of evaluate from there. Right, we gotta bring the wins, right? This whole even record through the entire year and getting into the playoffs at the very last second is getting old, right? We need to win through the start of the year, through the middle of the year, through the end of the year. That entire time, we need wins. And right up, whatever reason now, this team is not doing that. So 18, 16, and 3. We still have some games before the middle point of the year. And what do we do with this team? What do we do to make this team better, right? We sit at 39 points. We're 2 points off 4th place, and we're within 10 of top of the division. So we're close all around, no matter what it is. But let's go check, see what everyone's doing, and see if we need to change anything. So after much deliberation, after we've been trying to figure out what's going to make this team work, and we came down to a decision that Wallstrom was one of our biggest problems. And not that he was underperforming or, you know, just not doing anything. Well, he's getting us the points, but he's also playing horribly defensively, right? He's significantly minus. I think he's our most minus player on our roster. Well, after scrolling through a lot of teams, as you can tell, we're almost all the way to the end with the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, you may be wondering, Josh, why would you go after Stamkos, Marchessault, and Bjork? Well, none of these guys, Stamkos and Marchessault are not even in the lineup for Vegas. You don't believe me? Oh, okay. Marchessault. 0 games played, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 penalty minutes, 0 plus minus, 0 time on ice. But wait, that must just be a bug though, right? Well, let's go look at this, where he's been almost at 100 points or at 100 points the last 3 years. And for some reason, he is not in the lineup for Vegas. So, me being me, I'm like, hey, player that usually can get a lot of points that's not in the lineup and can play and get a lot of points for me, why not, right? Playmaker, he can play either wing. You know, his personal individual stats are not great, but here's the big thing, the contract. $8.8 million on Marchessault. Well, you must be Josh. Well, Stamkos, he's got to be in the lineup, right? He's Steven Stamkos. Same situation as the other one, right? After last year, Vegas signs him to a big $8.2 million contract, and you're like, great, I got this player. Then he's not in the lineup for you. So his trade value is pretty diminished, as well as Marchessault. And in order to make this trade work, we got to throw in Wahlstrom, who's going to be that player. We have Veleno in this trade that, unfortunately is going to, have to go, right? He's been with us. I wish he would have progressed a little bit more, but we just got to the point where he just got beat out by other players. And you know what? Business is business at the end of the day. And unfortunately, we got to throw Alex Tuch in here. I would have liked to keep him for longer, but unfortunately, in order to make this one work, we got to throw in a little bit of trade value as well as salary. So we're going to be getting rid of Wahlstrom, Veleno, and Tuch. We're going to be getting Stamkos, Marchessault, and Bjork. Basically all of them have basically half of their salary retained by Vegas. So will this one go through? What if we change the whole trade, just do Wahlstrom and Veleno for Stamkos and Marchessault? Will that one go through? We will not accept this proposal. Looks fair, but they are not willing to retain. Okay, so the salary and the retaining part of it is something they don't want to do. So let's try to slowly go down on one of them and see how much they'll be able to retain, but also still be willing to accept the offer. So it ends up going through after taking all of the salary retained off Stamkos. And I think we got down to like $2.53 million, somewhere in that area for Marchessault. So we end up throwing in a couple of prospects as well that we weren't going to re-sign to try to sweeten the pot just a little bit, but they didn't really seem to be interested in that. So let's go see what the new lineup will look like with Stamkos and with Marchessault in the lineup. It's hard to say that our forward groups looks even better than before, but it definitely does. We had to take Gabe Vilardi out of the lineup in order to accommodate both Marchessault and Stamkos. But I feel like that crew, that new duo there, hopefully they're going to bring it home for us as we just have our last game before we break for the end of the episode. And as usual, as I think I say every single time we simulate this game, we sit at 500, right? We have 41 games played. We are 19, 19, and 3. We sit at 41 points overall, and we currently sit, what would that be? 7 points out of 3rd place, but technically we are tied, I guess, for 4th place in a 2-point race between, 5 different teams? I think, 5 different teams. So what else is new with the Detroit Red Wings? So let's give you guys a quick halftime, half season report here and see what these guys are doing so far this year. So Zadina surprisingly leading the way. Larkin, what do we gotta do for him to make, the last couple of years have been really disappointing for him. Realistically, we had him at 100 points, or 102 points, 97. Then he dipped really bad. I'm like, okay, a little bit of an off year, a little bit better, and then now he's just point per game. And this year, he's not really doing too much at all. So I don't know about that one. Maybe we put Shane right up there, just give him a chance. I don't know. Lindholm's still there, 27 points. He moved up to the 3rd line. Barron's there. Norris, Raymond, and Kachuk are there, both underperforming big time. Stamkos almost point per game so far. Marchessault with only 1 point. So I feel like the sliders where you have to shoot or cycle or anything like that, I feel like we need to adjust those because, you know, our guys are just not shooting as much as they need to. Hannafin, Lindholm, our top two. Mann and Ekblad are the second two, and then Wallander and Myers on that third pair now. You know, they're kind of holding their own. I mean, Wallander, if we can get something good for him, I might try to trade him away just because we've given him a really good chance at that second line, and he hasn't really done much with it. So, you know, even last year, 5 points was like, okay, kind of promising, but then this year he just hasn't done much. So maybe we'll do something with him. He could be an option to try to trade away, maybe get a bigger piece. And then also, Dostal. I would love to give him a chance. I mean, but Luukkonen's just there. So, like, an 87 overall, what do we do with Luukkonen? Like, let me know down below. What do you think we should do with Luukkonen, right? I mean, our history is so weird, right? 2-10 overall when we first get him. The following year, we start him in the AHL. Maybe it was the year after. We put him in the AHL. He dominates, right? We bring him back up. He struggles big time. I think we tried to put him down in the AHL, but he had to go through waivers. The following year, he comes back, does all right. And then this year, he's struggling again. So, like, do we try to go for a new goaltender? Do we try to trade away him for whatever we can get and then, you know, focus on the offseason and get something different? Because, like, I'm about to just bring up if Bednar is... Yeah, I mean, Bednar is doing exactly what we expected from him. So do we let Dostal and Bednar run the show up here? I mean, what do we do with him? Like, in your opinion, what should we do, right? Because everything else, I mean, -7 on Ekblad. I mean, like, yeah, whatever. But, like, something's not working there. Our forwards aren't producing nearly as much as they should. What should we do, right? Do we change around those strategies? Do we change our strategies in general? The sliders, you know, what do we do in order to get this team back to form? Because Larkin's struggling, Wright's struggling, Kachuk, Raymond are struggling. I mean, it's got to be something I'm doing because these players and the amount of talent I have on this team should not be this bad. So something's got to go on. Maybe next video we'll try to look for a trade for Luukkonen and see what's out there because obviously we have Velarde as well that we can do something with. So we'll have to wait and see until next episode. But let's get a quick look at the team stats just to see if this helps us point in the right direction here. Let's go the entire league. So we currently sit 20th overall in the league. Goals for, we have 135. I just checked. So we're kind of like middle to the bottom of the pack. We're at 147 goals against. I mean, that's not awful, but we definitely need to score more goals, right? We're, again, middle of the pack. Power play percentage, we currently sit, that's a problem, 15.9%. Yeah, I found one of our biggest problems, folks. Yeah, penalty kill as well. I didn't actually see what number we were, but we were in the 70s. Yeah, we're at the bottom there as well, so... Yeah, that's a big problem. If our power play sucks, everything kind of sucks right now. So we'll have to do some digging off camera and see where we can go from here. But right now, we have a whole team of underperforming stars, and not just stars. I mean, a lot of players are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that'll have to be an off camera, off recording check. You know, go through all the numbers, see who's doing what. And change around basically everything because we are struggling literally from top to bottom. So most likely some big changes going into next episode, but that's going to be it for this one. I mean, we're still in a good, like a decent spot, right? We're 19-19, right in the middle of the pack. You know, we're still technically in a playoff spot, even though it's a very close race as usual, but we got to figure out goaltending. We got to figure out why no one's scoring and putting up the points that they need to. And we got to figure out why our team just sucks majority of the time and gets into the playoff just barely. every single time. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down there as well. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.